Hello and welcome to Dear Franny. I am your host, Francesca Hogi. So today I want to answer a big question, which is, does everyone get a chance at true love? Because there's definitely a strong idea that some people are lucky in love and some people are unlucky in love. And I want to debunk that idea a little bit. So, I'll start by drawing a contrast to another question, which is, does everyone get a chance at friendship? Does everyone get a chance at having a friend? And I think we can all agree that yes, everyone gets a chance at friendship. And in fact, we get many chances at friendship in our lives. Doesn't always mean that we're open to that friendship. It doesn't mean that we are very necessarily skilled at being a friend and at developing friendships. But in terms of the opportunities to make new friends, that's something that is really evergreen. That's something that is very abundant. And I feel the same way about true love. And I know that that is not the typical view because true love is something that we think of as being very magical. It's very outside of ourselves. It's something that you have to be lucky to have and to stumble upon. But you may know this if you've been listening to the podcast for a long time. And you'll certainly know this after you read my book, How to Find True Love, which will be out in April of 2025. Um, but I define true love as a type of relationship. So you might have heard me say this before, but it bears repeating, even if you have, which is that true love in our culture is normally it's normally spoken of as one person, right? Like my one true love. And it's, kind of often kind of talked about as maybe like a soulmate or, the one in all caps. And it's this idea of a person who is this perfect person who comes into your life, perfect for you, who comes into your life and then you fall in love and then you have a beautiful relationship and you live happily ever after. And I'm not saying that that's totally false, but what I really think of when I think of true love, and especially as someone who's been helping people with romantic love and getting into relationships for a long time now, going on 12 years now, or maybe 12 years now, more than 12 years now, I always forget time. What is time anymore? I'm like, it's the middle of October. How did that happen? How is 2024 almost over? I don't know. But anyway, I think of true love as being about a relationship because, we can all meet and we all have met people who you have a strong romantic connection with. And often it's undeniable. You meet each other, there's that electricity, that chemistry, that magnetic pull between the two of you. And it's so beautiful. But as you probably have experienced, and I certainly have experienced, that does not always equate into a long term, healthy, happy relationship. So if we're only thinking of it as it's got to be about this person coming along, then you're really selling yourself short because we've all had that experience. We've had that experience of that chemistry. We've had that experience of that connection, and it doesn't translate. So, what I've really come to believe is that true love is really about the type of relationship, and it's a relationship that has particular qualities that support that relationship lasting, thriving, and just really getting even better over time. So, those qualities are number one, respect. So, unconditional respect between the two of you, which means that, you don't have to earn it. A lot of people say, people have to earn my respect. Um, no judgments to those people, but in my opinion and in my experience, that respect is something that should be a foundational value, dynamic quality in your relationship and a non negotiable one. So, unconditional respect. And then, additionally, emotional intimacy, physical intimacy, emotional safety, physical safety, commitment, adoration, and joy. So, intimacy, I think we can all understand what that means. Emotional intimacy, having that closeness that that container within your relationship where you're able to express your emotions to each other. They're honored. Um, you you're in touch with what you're feeling. You're able to express that to each other. Physically, you are in touch with each other. You have that intimacy. You have that special connection, and that includes sex, but it also means just closeness and affection. The safety is knowing that you are safe with this person emotionally and physically, that they respect you, they respect your emotions, even if they don't agree with them, they don't feel the same thing. But, I think we all know what it means to be emotionally unsafe in a relationship of any kind, not necessarily romantic, but, if you've ever been gaslit, if you've ever been shamed for how you feel, if you've ever been told that, you're wrong for how you feel, if your emotions have been ignored, then you know what it feels to be emotionally unsafe. So a true love relationship is one where you are safe with your emotions in the context of your relationship, and also physically, your bodily autonomy and integrity. Safety is something that is a non-negotiable. Commitment, because without a level of commitment and an understanding of what this relationship is about, are we on the same page about that? Um, you know, Monogamy is my jam. So I talk a lot about monogamy, but even if you are somebody who is non monogamous, there still needs to be some level of commitment in order to feel that safety, in order to have that container of specialness, right? That comes with intimacy and adoration. So that's just, you just dig each other, you just love each other, you adore each other, you really see this person as somebody who's really special and precious. I have a client who said to me the other day, and I was like, "Oh, this is such an amazing phrase." He said he was talking about a woman in his life, and he said that he really feels that he occupies sacred ground in her heart. Sacred ground in her heart. And I was like, ooh, that is poetic. That is beautiful. And I really love that idea, and that there is a sacredness, right, that comes in a true love relationship, right? When you have that adoration, when you really feel that person really appreciates and adores you for who you are. And then joy. So, joy and that ability to come together and amplify each other's joy. And now this is a beautiful definition. I mean, this is not a Pollyanna definition. This is actually dependent on just having the ability to have that unconditional respect for yourself and another person, to be intimate with your own emotions, right? So being able to actually honor what you feel. Oftentimes we go into relationships and we think it's our partner's job to honor our feelings and to know what we feel and maybe to read our minds and to make sure that we're always feeling good, but we ourselves are not even in touch with our own emotions. So that's really when you get into your skill and your responsibility, at love and building healthy relationships, is, what is my own ability to be intimate with myself emotionally, physically? What is your ability to be safe with yourself emotionally and physically? So just as other people can shame you, other people can gaslight you, other people can try to tell you that you are wrong for feeling the way that you feel, you can do that to yourself. And we've all been there. So understanding that the more you're able to really work on this foundational relationship with yourself and really normalize within yourself all of this, all of these dynamics that you are seeking with another person, that's when true love becomes an inevitable outcome of your intention to have partnership and how you show up in the world. So, do you adore yourself? Do you see yourself as adorable? A big issue, and this used to be a problem that I had as well, that I see all the time, is that people are, they're single, they want love, they want a committed relationship, but then every person who actually really adores them and thinks that they're great and thinks that they are the cat's pajamas, you don't like that person. You're not attracted to that person, right? You find reasons to make that person wrong. And so that's a very natural thing to do, but it's also a sign that there is something within you that is not fully in adoration, in love, in acceptance of yourself. Because if somebody else comes along and tries to give you a level of love that you are not comfortable with internally, you are not going to be attracted to them. You are going to push them away. You are going to make them wrong. And luckily, we don't have to be perfect here. So we can have our insecurities, we can have our challenges. But having a true love relationship is really about taking ownership of your own ability to love and to be loved. Because going back to the question that I posed at the top of this episode, does everyone get a chance at true love? My opinion is absolutely yes. I think that we all get multiple chances at true love. I think that there are multiple people who you have encountered and will encounter. So don't worry about the past, because we can learn from the past, but you're going to get more chances at this, right? But are you able to recognize it? Are you able to receive it? Are you actually ready to let that into your life? And are you prepared for what's going to come up for you when somebody really comes along and they respect you and they want intimacy with you, and that you have this safety and you have this adoration and you have this good feeling? Like if you're not comfortable with that, and oftentimes we are not, then it's not going to work out, right? And so I do think that for the most part, we squander our opportunities at true love, because that is part of the journey of learning to be more loving towards ourselves and towards other people, is learning from the ways in which we have been unloving. And so it's okay. And this is not to, again, this is not about regret. This is not about judgment. This is not about shame, but this is about understanding the nature of love and your responsibility, and not just responsibility, but your opportunity to grow and your capacity for love. So are some people more naturally well equipped to have a true love relationship, to receive that love, to receive that adoration, to be able to give that to another person? Absolutely. Right. So when we talk about being lucky at love versus unlucky at love, yeah, some people are luckier in that, their programming, their upbringing, the level of trauma that they've had, maybe their brain chemistry, their things in their lives, the amount of conditioning that they've received that tells them that they are somebody who is lovable or isn't. That's where the luck comes in, right? Because we are not all given the same tools in life to thrive. I think we can all agree on that. So is it potentially easier for some people to build a true love relationship? Absolutely. Just like it's easier for some people to have a good relationship with their bodies. It's easier for some people to have a good relationship with money. It's easier for some people to have a good relationship with nature or with their community, or with their career paths. Like, there's obviously, we have different levels of skill at that. However, it is skill, and skills are all things that we can learn, we can strengthen, right? We can improve in our skills, but it does take an understanding and a commitment. So does everyone get a chance at true love? Absolutely. Is everyone going to be able to receive and to allow that love to thrive in their lives? No, but everyone can. And that's what I really want to encourage you with today is, to check in with yourself and to ask yourself, right? What is my ability to have that unconditional respect for myself? What is my ability to be intimate with myself emotionally and physically? What is my ability to be safe with myself emotionally and physically? What is my ability to make commitments to myself and to honor them and to keep them? And what is my ability to experience joy? What is my ability to look at myself as adorable, right? As somebody who deserves to be loved. And again, we don't have to be perfect, right? Thank goodness. Love itself is the perfection, and we are human and we're not here to be perfect. But if you want a true love relationship, I really want to encourage you to know that you absolutely can have it. It is available to you. No matter what's happened in your past, you are going to get more and more chances at love. And my wish for you, my hope for you is that you are able to learn from what's transpired in your past relationships, see where maybe you were a little bit on autopilot in your relationships, because that is often what we do, because that's how we are really conditioned. We're conditioned to think that when you meet that person, everything's supposed to magically work out. And no, just as with friendship, right? If somebody becomes your friend and you're like, okay, great. Now I never have to show up for this person. I never have to put in effort. I don't have to learn how to communicate. I don't have to learn how to listen. I don't have to show up for this person. I don't have to let them show up for me. We're just going to be great friends without any effort on my part. I think we can all agree, like, you're not going to be very good at friendship, right? So regardless of how many chances and opportunities you have to develop a friendship, without that foundational skill and understanding that the relationship is always a co-creation. Okay, it's a co-creation. A friendship is a co-creation. Your romantic relationships are co-creations. Your relationships with everyone in your life are co-creations. And that's why every relationship that you have is a little bit different, right? You might say, oh, as a friend, I'm XYZ. Maybe, I'm a great listener. I'm there for people when they need support. I'm an excellent cheerleader and I root for my friends. You might have these foundational ways that you approach friendship. However, in the context of each individual relationship, it's still different, because you're still with a unique person every time, and they're bringing their selves to that relationship. And so every relationship has its own dynamics. It has its own values. And the same goes with romantic relationships. And I think that we would all be better equipped, and romantic relationships overall would be more fulfilling if people understood that it is a co-creation and that you are half of that equation. And what you're bringing to the table is always going to matter just as much as what your partner is, and not projecting it all out on them and saying, it's up to them to make me happy. It's up to them to make me feel safe. Where is that ability within yourself? Now, the last thing I want to say about this is that I do think all beautiful, healthy relationships, be they romantic, be them friends, be them family, all healthy relationships give us more opportunity to heal, right? And give us more opportunity to learn how to receive more love and to be more intimate. So it's not that I need to stress this all the time, because I don't ever want anybody to come away from listening to an episode of this podcast or hearing anything that I have to say about relationships and think, oh my God, I can't do that. That's too hard. I'm too far away from that. No, you do not have to be perfect. And healthy relationships actually help us to heal and to grow. Um, but just at least having this foundational acceptance that I can't just put it all on the other person, that I actually have to do some work on my own to bring these dynamics, to bring this energy to these partnerships. That's just going to serve you, and it's going to serve your future relationships so much better. And that's what I want for you. I want healthy, connected, joyful, romantic partnerships and all types of relationships. And that becomes a lot easier when you understand that the opportunities for love are abundant, and starting with our opportunities to be more loving towards ourselves. And it's just a matter of recognizing that and playing your role in bringing that love to the forefront, cultivating it, letting it thrive, normalizing, right? That feeling of love within yourself. So when other people come along and they want to love you, and I promise you, there are many people in this world who want to love you. I promise you. Then when they come along, it's like, oh yeah, of course you want to love me. I love me too. And it just makes everything easier. All right. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. Short, sweet episode. I want to thank you, as always, for listening. I want to encourage you to share this episode if you found it valuable, to make sure that you are following the podcast, subscribing to the podcast. Find me on social media. I'm at Dear Franny. And of course, be on the lookout for How to Find True Love, which will be out in April of 2025. Thank you. Hope you have a great day wherever you are in the world. And I'll be back next week. Bye.